Well, it's been just under 2 years now that football fans in particular in South Africa have been to stadiums. There has been a lot of talk about the potential of them returning. Well, the government did open up around 2,000 spectators for live events around the country, but the PSL in particular has remained closed, or the gates have remained closed in the PSL for some time now. And I'm joined now by Sports Minister Nathi Mthethwa to talk about what is the way forward from here. Minister, thank you so much for your time this morning. I appreciate it. Let's start with the sentiments around the country in the past 2 weeks or so, that there is the appetite from government to increase the numbers. We did read in some of the papers last week that there'll be some sort of a meeting to be had. Where are we with that?
Well, thanks, Benjamin. You would recall that last year we came up with an approach, a staggered approach. The 2,000 you're referring to was the first phase of that. It was going to go to 50% of the capacity of the stadium and so on, to 75% and all of that. But then we have changed the staggered approach. We have recommended to Cabinet to lift the national state of disaster, lift it in its entirety. And right now, the matter is with the Department of Health. We should come up with regulations that if we lift it, how do we do that within the confines of saving lives, whilst opening up this economy, the sporting and creative economy. So that's where things are at the moment. And if you heard the President during the State of the Nation address, he alluded to that fact that the entire, the whole of Cabinet is looking at opening up and lifting the national state of disaster without being reckless. Without being reckless, it means that the program of government of encouraging and getting people to vaccinate still continues. The health department then will come up with their regulations to that effect. So we are waiting for the health department to lead us on that. But we have made our own proposal. Now, Benjamin, I want to make a point that people must understand that there is no one minister, whether it's Minister of Health or Minister of Culture or of Sport. No one minister can decide on what to do. It's a collective. But what is important is that each one of us play our part. From our part, we want to see spectators back at stadia like yesterday. We want to see events, festivals taking place. And we have been consistent on that, and we have made our views known to the public as well as to government. But I can say, as I end on this point, Benjamin, that there is light at the end of the tunnel. I don't see us going beyond 2-3 weeks without getting a definite answer and having lives back to normal.
And when you say doing away with a staggered approach, Minister, does it mean not the 50%, not the 75% that was proposed some time back also? Does it mean 100% open at the stadiums? And if so, having been one of the people who made the recommendation, are you satisfied, or is the NCCC satisfied with the 29 or just under 30% of the vaccinated population in South Africa?
That's precisely the point. When we say regulation, health would be looking in all of those matters. We are not happy. Remember that we aimed at 70%. Now we around half of that, if not even below half of 70%. So we are not happy. That's why I'm saying we have not taken the foot off the pedal from the point of view of vaccination. And people should know. We may have a situation where it's only vaccinated people who would be allowed to be at stadia at 100%, or taking into cognizance the health protocols, depending how that would go. But I must say, even now, Benjamin, that we urge people to vaccinate. As you know, that my department, together with health, led by the presidency, we have been around the country mobilizing people to vaccinate. We still are saying that people should vaccinate. As we wait for health on its regulations, but having made our point clearly that we really want livelihoods back, people must still take responsibility of vaccinating.
Minister, about 3 or just under 2 weeks ago, there was a picketing outside the department's offices in Pretoria by political party EFF. Did you receive some sort of memorandum? Because it was on the issue, about this issue. Was there some sort of memorandum on your desk? And are you taking into cognizance some of the points in that memorandum?
No, that was just a political match. It wasn't really serious about people going back to stadia. We are serious about that. We have made our proposals from cabinet from the beginning, and so on, and we'll continue to do that. Just to make this point, to underline the point that it was just a match, which was making a political statement, basically. And my statement prior their match was very clear about my understanding, and I was proven correct, that when they got there, there was not even a memorandum. What kind of a match is that? But Benjamin, my preoccupation is not some side shows like those. My preoccupation is getting livelihoods back, because the issue of people going back to stadia, going back to the events, it's about their lives. It's about supporting. These are the means to support their own lives. So we are very much focused on that, and nothing will defocus us on that. We are very much focused. If anybody, including EFF, is calling for the opening of the stadia and so on, we agree with those, because we are doing something, and we've been doing something on that. And as I said, we've upped the age lately, that let's look at lifting of the national state of disaster, and boldly so, but without being reckless, and ensure that people are still safe, but they are back to their lives.
Minister, I'm running out of time. In 30 seconds, are you promising that by the time, because we now know that the state of disaster has been extended to next month, by the time that's lifted, if it is indeed lifted, we will have fans back in stadiums? Well, at least an increased number will be allowed. Is that a promise from the Minister of Sport?
Well, as I told you, it's the collective decision of cabinet. If it goes with what I think and I've proposed, I don't see us not having achieved that within the next round of this extension. I'm confident that by that time we would have reached that point, that livelihoods are back within the protocols, or within the health protocols. That
meeting is when again, Minister? To decide on that?
It is within 2 weeks. It can be next week or the week after. I must check about that, but it's not far from now. It is within this extension period.
All right. Within 2 weeks, we're expecting Minister Mthethwa back here on Newzroom Afrika to tell us that more fans, or 100% of stadiums capacity is allowed back, and fans will be delighted with the news that Minister just delivered here on Newzroom this morning.